walk through very quickly these new standards that we're looking for. And I'll use one of my own classes to demonstrate, talk about. This is the homepage for Music Frisch. And I've got a picture of myself, my contact information, a little fun video. Click here to get started. It needs to look welcoming, kind of like when you walk into a classroom um, it looks clean and inviting. Doesn't need to be too busy. You'll notice that I've got, so my announcements show up here, that only 3. You could have gobs of announcements. I think that gets pretty cluttered, but but making students log into that homepage and having a homepage lets them know that these announcements exist. We want everything to tag off of modules. You notice that I've got discussions, assignments, quizzes, all hidden because I want them to access things using modules. And here is modules, and if you start at the top and go all the way down to the bottom, you can see due dates there. And when you get to the bottom, you have finished the class. One of the standards that we are looking for is a landing page. So we could go down to any of these. Ancient music in the Middle Ages, and there's a landing page that says, here's what we're going to do. And then I've got some learner outcomes here to make education folks in the HLC happy. So that's what we're going to do. And then in that section, you would click into this lecture, listen to these examples, take this quiz in order to do the rest of it. You'll notice at the top, I've got a Getting Started tab, letting people know how to get going and what this class, how it works. A thing about your instructor, this has become kind of something that people are looking for. We all ask students to introduce themselves. Are you introducing yourself? Here's who I am very briefly, just so that students have a sense of who's on the other side of the computer screen. The book. This textbook is embedded over here with Vital Source, but you still need to explain that. There are so many ways to get to the book, probably a dozen different ways to get to textbook information. Make sure that you have what you're doing clearly explained. Kelly did this nice link here for ReadSpeaker and how to use all that stuff. And if you want a copy of this, I can send that to you. I can actually embed that into your class. Are you using rubrics? This is something with instructor interaction that is becoming more and more important. And I didn't use ChatGPT or AI to use these. I wanted to be simple. But students really like this. And it's kind of a pain in the neck to create, but once you get them created, to grade with this is very easy. So I would recommend starting small, and even if you just did 1 or 2, and get started using rubrics, it helps reinforce that student-instructor feedback. When you look at accessibility, we are trying to get everybody to at least a 90% on this Ally score here. And it's pretty easy if you've got things that need adjusted to go ahead and adjust that. That's something that we're looking at. Let's go into the syllabus. And if you're not using the scheduling link, the scheduling sync with the Canvas gradebook in your syllabus, you'll want to do that. It's so easy, and it creates a nice schedule of a class as long as you've got due dates in there. We'll scroll down here and get to that. And so everything that had a date in modules there will just show up if you click the sync button under course assignments and due dates. Make sure that you have very clear expectation of how fast you're going to get things graded when things are turned in. And I say after a couple of days after it's due, things are due in this class Sunday night. By Monday and Tuesday, I'll have things graded and ready to move on to the next thing. You might make sure in your settings that you go there, make sure that you have that button clicked. I'm showing the last 3 announcements on the home page. And on this settings page, you can also validate your links to see if you've got any broken links. and anything that needs to be kind of cleaned up. So that is a very quick idea of what we're looking at. That's not a lot, but these standards are something that schools and the federal government is taking more and more seriously. One more thing I wanted to make mention of is, are you um, encouraging the use of brain fuse at any point? I have an assignment here that requires them to turn into me what the brain fuse tutor gave them. And here's my announcement reminding them to not wait until the last minute. Let me know if you have questions about that, but we are trying to get a little bit more standard look to our courses, a nice homepage, and things linking off of modules are the two big initiatives.